What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. And leave a comment and share the video. Leave a like if you support me and support the content. This is part 2 of a Hoover versus another Hoover, a bloody removal, essentially, that transpired in Salinas Valley State Prison back in 2009. Now again, this guy Scandalous is on the yard, and everyone has already gotten word that he likes cheese. But again, no paperwork has been produced. Consequently, no one can make a move on him based on that. Based on him supposedly, later it's no longer supposedly, it's been confirmed. But at the time, supposedly, that he likes cheese. No one has the actual evidence. However, this situation is separate, it's different in that the young homie on the yard, again, he feels slighted and feels like this dude Scandalous is trying him. And again, apparently, clearly, he made the decision that he was going to take the law into his own hands and do something about it. Now, typically, as I've said before, you cannot use a weapon on another homie without there being consequences. You really need permission for this, unless he's a snitch or a chomo or something. Your personal beef, your personal issues, if y'all are both strong and reputable homies, no, it can't happen. So, but the young homie that's about to perform this bloody removal, well, he knows that Scandalous has this jacket on him. And who really is going to, take up for Scandalous with this jacket going around on him? Who's going to come at the young homie who's a reputable and say, man, you was wrong and we finna DP you for this? Are you taking up for this dude who we all know is a rat? That's not a good look, even though, again, the paperwork had not surfaced. So he felt like, I don't know, I can't read his mind, but I'm assuming he felt like he can do this and get away with it. And he did, because of who it was. So unbeknownst to everyone other than his cellie, and I don't know, perhaps someone else he may have been close with, cool with, that he may have told what he was about to do. Other than that, none of the rest of us knew. The rest of the car, the rest of the homies, we had no clue, which is a violation. You're about to use a weapon on a homie, and you ain't told nobody, because you know that, everybody would say no, except for the fact of who it is or what the situation is. He later said that the reason he didn't tell the homies, because some of the homies were gossip too much. He told me that personally, that they gossip like little girls, and that he did not want to get back to Scandalous what he had up his sleeve, his machinations. So he decided to keep it to himself, and that's what he did. Fine. Come out to the yard, and everybody typically groups up by the handball course. That's where we used to group up at. And when we get over there, everything seems on the up and up. Again, no one has a clue what's about to transpire except a couple of people, including the culprit. But Scandalous, well, he's unaware also. And the young homie, he calls him over. Scandalous. Yeah, check it out, bro. And he come over. And when Scandalous reached out his hand to shake his hand, and embrace him, perhaps thinking they're about to make some other exchange, some other illegal exchange instead, or that he's just about to receive this love from the homie, this nice embrace. Instead, when he reached out his hand and opened up his innards, well, the homie, he tried to attack his insides. He quickly and rapidly produced a tool and went to hitting Scandalous with the tool. Boom, boom, boom. Scandalous threw his hands up and he tried to fight back some, really just tried to defend himself and protect his vitals. Because the homie, well, he had a sinister look in his face. And it's clear that he had nefarious intentions. He wanted to end Scandalous. I know this because the attack was precise, determined, it was vicious, and it was absolute. And it was really a relentless attack because Scandalous tried to defend himself, but he was already leaking by that time and was losing strength. But he's a big dude, but he's losing strength now because he's been hit a couple times right here about the chest area. Really about the stomach, what have you. Couple of hits on his arm that he was able to block his vitals. Because the homie, again, with the murderous look in his eyes, is attacking this dude relentlessly, and we're all just looking. Because again, because of who it is, no one is about to intervene, even though we didn't know what was about to transpire. Eventually, the police caught wind of what was going on, the gun tower, and told everybody to get down on the yard. Down on the yard, down, down, down. And they come running with the Mini. We call it Mama Mini. Resembles a chopper. And he come running down the rail with the Mini, pointing it, get down, get down, get down. And I got the hell down. I got out of the way. And everybody else did too. Everybody got down. And then Scandalous is lying down there, leaking. And he says, like that, it's like that. And the young homie had tossed the tool. And he didn't say anything. In fact, when he went to the hole for it, he only stayed in the hole for a few months. Like 2 months maybe, 2 or 3 months. And they let him out. He didn't have a case of nothing. They really didn't know who had done it. They didn't know. They thought they had got the right person, but apparently they wasn't sure. I don't remember the exact circumstances as to why they let him out of the hole, exactly what the conversation was, why they determined it wasn't him, or if they determined it wasn't him, or they just didn't have enough evidence to hold him back there for much longer after the conclusion of their investigation. Whatever the logistics, I don't recall. I do recall they let him out the hole back onto the same yard because Scandalous, of course, had been removed. He was gone. Once you get hit on the yard, you cannot return to the yard. You're now a victim. You cannot return to the yard. Once you have stab wounds, that's obviously putting your life in danger. What, they're going to throw you back on the yard so somebody can finish the job? Whether they have the person locked up in the hole that did it or not. And sometimes people are not caught. I remember someone was saying in the comments when I did the story about Lil Watts from or Young Watts from Front Street, and they said, "What? It wasn't he supposed to go to the hole after his first stabbing? How's it that he's out here doing all this?" And I tried to explain to you then. People do this and don't get caught. People are unalived in prison, and the perpetrator, sometimes gets away or beats the case for various reasons. They were able to toss the weapon. No one's about to come and snitch. The person has been unalived, so he can't talk. And they beat the case. Or if the yard is crowded and you hit somebody, you get away. People get away all the time. And people get caught all the time as well. But I told you there in the county jail, ain't no police around like that. He was able to, particularly in the court tanks, where there are no police and there were no cameras at the time. So he was able to do what he needed to do. No cameras inside of the dorm. So you can do whatever. The dorm is so crowded, they got one police sitting there in the tower trying to watch two dorms. They got a dorm on either side in the county jail. 5,600 right here and 5,800 right there. It's weird. And people fight all the time in the showers, or they got places in the back where people fight and get hurt, and the police never know about it. Or if the police do know, they don't care. There have been times the police, man, I'm going to get into the Los Angeles County Jail soon. But yeah, you can do these sort of things and get away with it. It happens all of the time. And that's what happened with Scanlon. But as I said, Scanlon, eventually the paperwork caught up. It did come down the pipeline. He was found guilty of liking cheese. And then the sentence came down once he was found guilty of being a rat. Well, the sentence was he had to be removed viciously from the yard, regardless of who he used to be. That is now over. And he was viciously removed from the yard. However, people had problems a couple of times removing him from the yard, just like they had problems removing Tiny Goofy. And people keep asking, I want to know why Tiny Goofy is on the SNY yard. I've said before, I am going to get to that. I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to hide anything. I told you I'm not going to take you halfway. It's not, that part of the story is not ready yet. I'm going to get to that at the conclusion, basically, of the story. I'm going to let you know what happened, and I said you guys can make your decision. I have my opinion. I'm going to break it all down, and we'll get into it. But I'm not hiding from that situation or running from that situation or not discussing it deliberately. I'm going to get to that, and I said that from the very beginning. Just hold on. Y'all be patient. And I'll be back soon. Stay free, people.